Arsenal fans, I'm not gonna lie to you. Forget all the negatives about Arsenal Football Club. For what remains of our Champions League campaign, and if we go all the way, I can't lie. Let's just rally behind the club, man. We know how mad the Premier League season's been. We know what we've been pursuing for the last couple of years. We know how the domestic cups are there. We know the question marks over a number of our players. We know the positives and potential negatives over Mikel Arteta. But I'm not gonna lie to you, lot people. Yeah, you see the Real Madrid game. You see the Real Madrid game, a spark went off in my head. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't. It feels like I found something that I've been searching for in my team for a very long time. Now, let's not act naive. I always say at Arsenal Football Club, we've got new age problems. Yes, the drought for the Premier League title is still 20 plus years. Yes, I believe personally, Mickey, I think. I think there's in life and football. There's a grey area. I feel you need to approach things with balance. And I know where football is spoken about in the media, we definitely know how Arsenal is spoken about in all variations of media, whether it's YouTube, whether it's, traditional media on TV, all of that kind of stuff, people. I feel there's never any nuance to the analytics and the analysis. Now, for me personally at Arsenal Football Club, just, I think anyways, I speak for the balanced Arsenal fans that, can see that we've obviously improved under Mikel Arteta and there's been improvements, but there's still question marks about getting over the line and holding the club to ultimately the high standards that I don't want to say Mikel Arteta is set, but Mikel Arteta is set, and better yet, Arsenal Football Club has reset. I always say Arsenal is a beautiful club. The Arsenal is a beautiful club. It's a beautiful woman, and it's finally under Mikel Arteta remembered how beautiful she actually is. Nights like against Real Madrid, of course, I don't expect to mash up Real Madrid 3-0, but we need to go to the level where that's the minimum. The atmosphere under Mikel Arteta generally has improved. Credit to the fans, credit to the football club to a degree, because obviously fans clearly care, because we've been going to the Emirates for 20 plus years and we haven't been doing what we need to do. And people are still flying in from all over the world, still spending money on season tickets, still doing all the other stuff, merchandise, all of that kind of stuff. But the Emirates atmosphere has generally improved. We have improved in the top in competitive games against the traditional top six. And since we've been back in the Champions League last season, of course, we didn't go all the way and we're disappointed against Bayern Munich, but it weren't the drummings we've become used to. And it's days like that that need to become the minimum. We need to get to a realm where I don't want to necessarily praise Liverpool, but Liverpool and all of the other teams in Europe, if they play Real Madrid, of course, it's a big game. But it's not a wow, we haven't been here before and we're excited and stuff. That's the long-term ambition. Now, credit to Real Madrid. I'm not going to lie, completely off topic. Football is romantic. It has comebacks and all of that. Arsenal Football Club, none of that. Big up Real Madrid. And I know there's pressure on Carlo and the players and their season's not been the best and all of that kind of jazz here. But none of that comeback stuff next week. We go to the Lions Den in the Bernabeu. Make sure you get it done. We're playing against 13 players. We're playing against the 11 they set out there. We're playing against the fans. And I'm an Arsenal fan. I have to do it. Like the referees, there's going to be a dodgy penalty. Personally, I think we need one more goal. It's mad that we scored 3 goals against Real Madrid. We're going into the Lions Den and it's a good test. But for Mikel Arteta, the way you set us up was superb. For the individual players, Bukayo Saka, no one can tell me anything. Bukayo Saka's had an all-timer of a season. He's still a candidate for Player of the Year. Now, some of you at Arsenal, some of you lot get onto me and say I'm moving a bit mad with that. But we all know generally in this time at Arsenal, and nobody deserves it more than him as well, because I still remember that tweet about Thingy. We deserve more, and look what he did. The man he was having a great season, obviously had injuries, and he's come back to a standing ovation. He's making up for lost time. The man is not fit. He's chasing his fitness back. Yeah, he looked exciting against Fulham. Yeah, he got minutes against Everton. Stood up tall against Real Madrid. Potentially should have had a couple of assists, really. And that's maybe why we need a striker, obviously. It would have been nice. I'm lying a bit. I was going to say I put big up Mikel Merino, who I've been backing, and it was a nice day for him, actually. But we needed a bit more of those kind of finishes. Yes, Declan Rice's one was great, but we needed a couple of those. Saka should have had 2-3 assists. The man's not fully fit. He's come back. He's boss Real Madrid. He's boss Alaba. And what I liked with Saka is he's learning his body now, isn't it? Like he's had to manage. If you watch that game again, obviously the man's not fully fit. So he's having to pick his battles. You wouldn't know it because he's got players on toast anytime he's got the ball, and he won the 2-3 kicks and things. But he's managing it, when to go inside, when not to, when to let it go down the left. And even in hindsight, I think initially in that game, we're attacking down that left. And then in the second half of the first half, it's like Odegaard and Saka woke up. I don't know if that was premeditated. That man is having an all-timer of a season, man, and I won't forget that. And every player, from the coaching staff to the fans, to every individual player. I know it's not the best Real Madrid side and they've got their own stuff, but then you look at us, you know, they can still put out Bellingham and this one and that one and the third people. We've got, respectfully, Kivio, probably not even our second choice, left-sided centre-back. I'm pretty sure in Mikel Arteta's heart of hearts, the option of maybe going to a back three, potentially Benjamin White, and all the other options instead of Kivio. Had a couple of nervy moments, ain't been playing football, stood tall. Saliba, I needed you to be the leader of that defense in Gabriel Magalhaes' absence. And another one who you badly wish was involved in this game, you stood tall. Timber, you stood tall. Miles Lewis-Skelly, you're always standing tall. David Raya, I love it. Declan Rice, I love it. Thomas Partey, fucking superb against Real Madrid, sorry. I actually think Partey's performances was probably better than Rice. I'm not dissing Rice. Rice scored 2 amazing goals. But in the 90 minutes, my point being, both of them stood tall. Of course, you want a bit more from Odegaard. The best I can say from Odegaard is you look at the free kicks we had, and you can see how Arsenal players are kind of blocking Courtois' view. And Courtois had a bad boy game. Probably didn't even deserve to concede 3. And I'm sorry, Roberto Carlos, for you having to witness not 1 but 2 free kicks from Declan Rice. And I'm sorry to all the legends of Arsenal and everyone and Real Madrid and all the football's alumni that was at the Emirates. I am sorry for what Bukayo Saka did to Alaba and Jude Bellingham. I'm sorry for all of that. We're quite disrespectful. We're a club of class, but you get it, people. If I was to microscope that game, I like it because I think you have to control the controllables. Real Madrid's scared, but they're scary, but they bleed just like us. We've got every reason to feel sorry for ourselves. Everybody stood tall. Couple of stray passes initially, we kept it moving. And that's what the games like that is what I mean by you earn your luck. When you compete, when Arteta does his thing tactically, when the players listen to him and they go and do that, they win their individual and collective battles, the fans are behind them, you get that. That's the kind of winning it on a boxing match. Then sometimes you have to go off the cuff. Now, 9 times out of 10, Declan Rice not listening to the set piece coach when he's telling you to cross the ball. That could be to our detriment. But these are the 1 times it's not. That's where I need. And I would say, Mikel Arteta, for your own coaching moving forward, we need players. Maybe it's a recruitment thing. Maybe the players have got to do it. Maybe you've got to promote from the players. But we need to do stuff off the cuff. Declan Rice, he told you, but maybe he's capping about all of this. And he just thought, you know, I've been working on this in training, in which, where has this been all season? If you can lick free kicks like that. And he said, you know what, F it, forget going by the script. Let's go off the cuff. The 1 time that it could work against Real Madrid, where it's a movie, where we've competed for an hour, where we've probably dominated the game. Yeah, they've counter-attack and couple stray passes, and we've not scored our tap-ins, and football's decided at both ends, and maybe there's a lot of isms and schisms to improve, but he went off the cuff, skenged it in. Courtois having a great game. It was neat at that point. You needed, because of the shots off the line from Alaba and Bellingham, and you know, I'm sure Partey or Saliba or somebody had a header early in that game, and it was kind of indirectly cleared off the line by an Arsenal player. Courtois making series of bad boy saves. Like, if it ended 0-0, he probably would have been man of the match, and they need to thank him that it wasn't more, because we should be going to the Bernabeu with 7. But Declan Rice went off the cuff. It happened, and he did it again. And those are the things that happen. Those are the things you need in those games, going off the kind of cuff. I have to do it as an Arsenal fan. Bellingham should be suspended for his foul on Odegaard. Camavinga, I don't know why he ultimately got sent off. I do know, because he threw his toys out the pram. He should have been on 2 yellow cards early in that game. Don't know why the ref looked at VAR against Real Madrid at one point, but you can tell the refs want to make it about them. Whatever it's a top, I can't lie, it's a rational Top Gooner thing for what's left of this Champions League campaign. See it through to the end, man. The boys need our support. As I said, the way the squad's been built, all of the things, man. The squad's been built, the wages, the not missed opportunity domestically, the question marks over Mikel Arteta's ability to get over the line. I personally believe, like in life, your greatest enemy can be yourself. Now, beyond the obvious, we all know the landscape of Arsenal, and you know, it's a collaborative thing, and it's not just one player, one person, and all of that. But isolated to what Mikel Arteta can control, I think his best enemy is himself. You can have questions over Mikel Arteta. You can, like I said, I get everybody on my platform, and I welcome all opinions. Some are very extreme, even in the comments, some in a positive sense, some are in a negative sense. I speak for purely the Arsenal fans that, you know, you might want Mikel Arteta out, but you can see the stuff he's done well, and you can cut him some excuses where you can, and you can be critical where you can and blame the other variables, bearing in mind it's a collaborative effort, and you think he's not the guy. And likewise, you can believe in Arteta, but you can think, oh, why are you not getting over the line, kind of thing. For me, I think he lives and dies by his own high standards. I think people can say whatever they want about our football club. We ain't got it over the line. We ain't done this. We ain't done that. But what we're not going to do is sit here and lie. And you see the managers that rate Mikel Arteta and rate Arsenal, forget Mikel Arteta for a second, rate how we're playing, our brand of football, the way we approach top six games, the way play teams set up against us. What I think Arteta dies by his own standards, because I think for him as a coach now, he's reached that ceiling where he's got a distinctive brand of football. We can kind of expect certain things from Arsenal. Now he needs to kind of shatter that. I think, can you go off the cuff? Can you trust players a bit more at times? Can you, in an attacking sense, can we evolve that and kind of go off script generally, especially when things are not going our way, man? You would have loved against Everton at the Emirates if, we're playing against a low block. Could have done our thing. The players need us, man. This is what I wanted. And like I said, something went off in my head. I don't know what this Champions League is going to have. But I ask these lot to be, I always say, no matter how difficult it is, try, be difficult. Let them take it over our dead bodies. You wouldn't let somebody come into your house, take off their socks and put their feet on your table, or go into your fridge and put a carton to their mouth. Don't let them come do that at the Emirates. That's what Real Madrid are not going to want us to do next week. Don't let them do that. And I saw that they competed. Had we have lost that game, I would have said, fair enough. You lot done everything I wanted. Now's not the time, man. We can have dialogue about, of course, consistent dialogue about the football club. Of course, in the summer, it's a time for reflection at all aspects. Side note, Berta running on the pitch and hugging Arteta was one of my favorite kind of moments, because you get some signings. They need us now, man. Now, I'm not naive. I'm not thinking footballers or Arsenal footballers are watching me or you or whatever, but they need us. And in life, you need hope. I'm not for blind hope, but let's just enjoy this Champions League run and see where we can go, man. The team needs us, man. Forget the negatives for a sec. Let's just put all our eggs in the Champions League basket. I don't want to dream, and it's a long way a long way to go. But even the most balanced of Arsenal fans, and again, one game at a time, all of that, you can't not one, not two, but three against Real Madrid. If you deal with what you need to deal with at the Bernabeu and between PSG and Aston Villa, I'm kind of skipping. If you control your bottle against two legs, I don't know who you'd prefer out of Villa and PSG. Is it the devil you know or devil you don't know? Bearing in mind we've played both them teams. You do what you need to do. And then you get into a final, and yes, there's some big boys in this Champions League. Real Madrid are still not out of it. You cannot call a man duppy until he's dead. And if anyone can do the coming back from the dead, the Undertaker thing, it's Real Madrid. So it's down to us to ensure that doesn't happen. PSG look a very good team. I guess Aston Villa are still not out. Real Madrid are still not out. Bayern Munich is still not out. The team I personally feared, them, Barcelona, are playing brilliant under Hansi Flick. And that would be romantic, really, for Mikel Arteta. And for us, man, 13 minutes away from winning the Champions League in 06. I might want revenge slightly. But anyways, the one I fear is Inter Milan, a team we played before. I just think they've got a blend of everything. But we're in the Champions League. Everybody at this stage, in the knockout stage, has weapons that can harm everybody. No one wants to play anyone, but this is the territory. This is the realm we wanted to be in. And considering everything we've been through this season, last season, whatever, come on, man. If we win the champs, it doesn't right all the wrongs, but it does. Get the statue for the gaffer, get the new deals. Bro, we need this. We ain't won the Champions League, and my football club deserves European heritage. We deserve domestic ones. But again, I know all the positives, all the negatives, all the in-betweens, and I've described the season as what if and complacency and all of those things. Yeah, there's been injuries and whatnot, but from a domestic point of view, I'm very disappointed not to be in the League Cup final. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should always be winning the FA Cup, and the game against United, congratulations to them. Commiserations to us is how I'll put it. And then the champs, man, like, we deserve this. We deserve this. We deserve this. And maybe the stars are aligning. You know what? A makeshift team dealt with Real Madrid in 06. We dealt with them in the first leg. There's a long way to go, but F it, man. Let's just unite around the boys. That don't mean it's a holiday mode. You still got to go out there and compete. And I do want you to win against Brentford. And Arteta, you're going to have to be cute and clever with the squad and what's left of this campaign. And it's one of reflection as well, because for me, I know it's all coulda, woulda, shoulda, and Liverpool have wrapped up the title. But we want to be a team that, like everyone, you can't win it all the time, but latter stages of the Champions League, getting over the line in the Premier League, picking up the domestic cups. Could you imagine if, which I rather would have been the thing, regardless, I would have rather. Could you imagine if, park the Champions League off for a second, because we played on Tuesday, but park that best result in the Emirates era in the Champions League, in it, considering everything about our club, let alone theirs. Park that off on the Tuesday for a sec, right? Just park that off for a sec, people. Could you imagine if it was a must-win against Brentford, where it's always a must-win playing for this football club? But imagine it was a must-win where Liverpool and Arsenal are level on points and all of that kind of stuff. Imagine imagine the Prem still had something. And when you still got to go and get the job done the following week against Real Madrid, that's the realm we want to be in. So I would say to Arsenal Football Club, or those that make the decisions, can we get the star quality that we need? Can we get the competent quality that we need to come into this squad? Can we improve the depth? Because again, we all know with the injuries, running out of steam, etc., Real Madrid's good, but there's a reality, unfortunately, where we've battered the current Premier League holders in Manchester City at our place. The apprentice against the master and Mikel Arteta. We battered them with the young players and Luis Skelly and all of those things. And we've battered Real Madrid at home. And all we've got is memories, which are great, and all of that stuff. But silverware, man, we're so close as a football club, you know. Like I said, first world problems. We've come a long way. But it's like we've got to almost the finish line and now we're slowing down. Can we just go up a few percentages in what's left of this season? And whether it's Berta, whether it's Mikel Arteta, whether it's the Cronkies and people that work there, the players, can we just go from being a good team to a great team? Because we're flirting with success. All our hard work is, we're working very hard, and it's like we're being shown with little isms and schisms of what it could be like. Maybe not so much this season, but despite the injuries, we are still second. But the last previous years, flirting with getting the Premier League over the line, not embarrassing ourselves against Bayern Munich, beating Real Madrid. And again, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Let's just unite, man. Let's just get behind the boys, man. Let's just get behind the boys. Because for me, when I was on TalkSport and I was watching us, something that I feel has been missing, and I'm not gonna act like we ain't been a good team, but I can't explain it. They just felt like there was I weren't in North London, I weren't in the stadium, but it just felt like something switched in my head, and I cannot put the words, but it felt like something that I've been missing seeing from my football club since Highbury, if I'm honest with you. Last season at Highbury at a push, something that, and we've been competitive, but something I can't explain it, people, but something was missing and I found it. And forget the negatives for a season. By all means, for the rest of the season, by all means, when May comes, dialogue. But right now, let's dare to dream, man. Let's start dreaming, man. In fact, don't dare to dream. Ain't that a Spurs thing or something? Like, forget all of that. We definitely don't. But let's dream in it. But then you've got to go out and seize it. A dream is just a dream. You need to go out and seize it. It's only half time in that tie. Nothing is decided. You always just